from the case study discussion that we made before, I was happy that you were able to come up with a lot of suggestive strategies. To name a few, we told we can do route level marketing, we can collaborate with a lot of influencers to get into the route levels for marketing. We can understand the consumer preferences and come up with product lines that address the need of consumers was one thing that you said. Then we had discussed about sponsoring. You suggested that Campa can go about with sponsoring for bigger events. And there was suggestion on improvising the product line, coming up with a lot of variants. There were suggestions about pricing, about having brand ambassadors, and there were a lot of strategies that you suggested me. So now we'll get into a discussion on how to identify the best strategy. For any business problem, we will definitely not stop with one strategy. We'll have multiple strategies that we're going to formulate. Say here we have 7 points for business. Of these 7, how do you decide which one is the best? Which of these would yield the better results? Okay. Okay, so we've done an analysis and we've identified that sponsoring would be the first thing to do, product diversity would be the second thing, route level marketing would be the third. We've come up with a rank. So this is a tentative rank that we have worked out. So here we've decided what is the first thing that we're going to do, what is going to be the second, what is going to be the third. That has been decided. After deciding this, what do you think we should do as an organization? If you are a strategy consultant and you've decided that this is the order of strategy that you're going to follow, what do you think you have to do after that? Whom should you go tell the strategy to? You are a consultant, you are working on a strategy for Campa. You have decided that these are the possible strategies. So whom would you go report these strategies to? To all the stakeholders. So who are your stakeholders in this case? To Reliance, to the founders of Campa, to the distributors, to the investors, to the board members, to the directors, to the CXOs, to anybody who is getting involved in direct decision making with respect to Campa. We would go present our strategies to them. After which, what will be done? After you go present your strategy to all the stakeholders, what would happen?
They can discuss.
Okay, they will sit in for a discussion and they will give in their inputs. They will come upon a decision of whether to approve this or not. If this can be approved, how can it be done? What are the steps in implementation that we are going to follow? What should come next? What should come first? What should come next? Will be discussed. So how would we implement a strategy? If you decided that sponsoring is going to be done, how will we start implementing it? Identified the list of events, we may jump in to identify which event has maximum coverage, which event has bigger order. Once it has been approved, we plan the actions, we plan the steps as to how these strategies are going to be implemented. We implement it on a smaller scale. If it works out on the smaller scale, we do it on a larger scale. Otherwise, we take feedback, rework on the strategy or come up with a new strategy and the process goes on. But any strategy that you've implemented, once it is positive, it doesn't mean it is going to be positive forever. So there has to be a periodic feedback mechanism. Periodically, you have to evaluate whether your strategy is yielding you desired results. In case you find if a strategy that was good today is not good after 2 years, in case you find that it does not give you good results in a matter of 2 years, you can then start reworking. It doesn't mean the strategy accepted today will have to be accepted forever. So there has to be a feedback mechanism. You have to constantly be in interaction with the stakeholders. You have to take their feedback. You have to be reworking on your strategy. So there should always be a scope for improvement and improvisation. Only when that scope is there, the organization will be able to be successful. Any organization that is flexible, any organization that is open to change alone can be successful. So are we we clear about the general outline of how strategy works? Okay. Maybe you can take these points into consideration and start developing an action plan. You can try designing an action plan. You can pick any one of these strategies and work out on an action plan in your personal notebooks. Maybe we'll discuss after that. You can take 5 minutes to work out on an action plan, taking one of these strategies into consideration. I think we are done with all our action plan framing. So from the list of strategies, you were asked to identify one strategy and work out on an action plan. So I think we are done with it. Now I'll request at least one or two of you to stand up and tell how you would implement your action plan.
City ma'am. First, we will introduce what flavors we are presiding and distributing, and then we are testing with a few people whether they are liking or not. After this, we can get feedback from them, and then we can introduce to all those people.
Ma'am, I'm go on with your pricing, ma'am. Pricing according to the Indian, we are go upon with the psychological pricing. Pricing plays a main role in the beverage factories, and the main thing is integration and sample test, and we are going to prefer for the market.
My point is market penetration, where they can try out in 2 different cities and check the consumers' behavior, and then implement refrigerators, as I told.
In sponsoring, we can sponsor a big events like now IPL is trendy, so we can sponsor IPL and we can market through mass.
An organization that is open to change alone can be successful. So, are we clear about the general outline of how strategy works? Okay. Maybe you can take these points into consideration and start developing an action plan. You can try designing an action plan. You can pick any one of these strategies and work out on an action plan in your personal notebooks.